Okie dokie, let's go jump to rank games with a random character and see what we're gonna get today, and it's immediately the adventure, and we're rocking the bag of giving. We're gonna see what sort of chaos we're gonna get up to. We got our bag of stones, which is gonna be really nice. Should we go for shell totem with stones? That could be kind of fun too. Let's go ahead and grab a little shard bow. Let's go ahead and grab our wooden sword then, and let's craft this up. Now, you on sale is not great. We're gonna be grabbing our piggy bank because that's gonna be extra gold per round. And I think I'm happy enough rocking on with this. I think this is going to be a great round one potentially. We save our gold so we get more golds or more items in the next shop. But is it going to be enough to take on this Reaper? I'm going to say it's going to be great round one. I meant we're going to lose horribly. And it wasn't a great round. But hey, we did manage to get an ice armor. Ice armor is a bit of a strange one, not going to lie. Definitely a bit of a strange one. The Amulet of Fortune is kind of strange as well. Let's go ahead and grab this flame. I might sell this to roll. We got extremely lucky grabbing a bit of storage. Definitely so. And we can have our bag stones back in, and kind of want to grab this lump of coal so we can craft up that burning coal. So we get a little bit more heat for our ice armor to use up our heat to inflict that coals. Now, do you want to grab the twine badge? Yeah, probably. But let's get going once again. So we should be able to inflict a tiny bit of cold. It's only going to be 4 cold and another 2 cold. Just slowing down our opponent just that small bit so we can get our shell totem to stack up our empower. And since we start off with so much armor, it's going to be that empower. Now, we are facing a squirrel archer who is going to steal our empower. So we're going to be in trouble for sure. They managed to steal our heat too. They're going to be using our empower to deal that damage back to us. And this was an insane opponent to be facing. That was really unfortunate. And speaking of unfortunate, we're definitely fortunate this round because that is a puzzle bag improvements with a freaking mana orb, as well as a corrupted crystal. Now, I'm thinking very strong about selling a corrupted crystal because this does inflict a small bit of cold, but not a whole lot. But I want to sell it to go ahead and grab our stone so we get that damage reduction even more. That's going to be the game plan. Let's start a little Starve Courage. Didn't need to sell it, but I'm going to be taking the stone. Is there anything else we want? I think we're just going to move on with this. We're going to stack up a little bit of mana with our mana orb. We should be able to get that damage reduction and give us more time to get our empower. As long as our opponent doesn't steal our empower and use it against us, we should be in a pretty good spot. Now, our opponent is going to be cleansing whatever cold we do inflict with this +1 Blessing of Purity, but we have tons of block, giving us a crazy absurd amount of time to win out. Definitely so. We're stacking up a lot of mana as well, but hell yeah. Much better than our first 2 rounds, that's for sure. Now, speaking of amazing, that is a Fortuna's Hope. I mean, we can actually stack up a lot of luck. We could also go for Magic Staff. Maybe do you want to go for Jinx Staff? Magic Staff could be insane for us though. Yeah, I think I really want to go for Magic Staff. We keep this bow in to get some luck stacking. We sell this bow to go ahead and grab ourselves a set of blueberries. We want the eye lamp to get a little bit more heat for our ice armor while also scaling up our damage. I don't think we're going to take it, but I will be taking this bit of storage. But let's get going once again. So it should be relatively awesome. Now, we should have actually switched our little shard bow inside our puzzle bag improvement so we can stack up our luck just a little bit more. We are inflicting a lot of debuffs, blind, poison, and colds, which is actually relatively awesome. Definitely so. Now, that's a shepherd's crook if you want it. I'm not sure if I do want it though. I'm thinking very strong about selling it, although it is great though. But I'm going to sell it and I'm going to be taking this stamina sack. For now, though, I'm going to be venturing on once again. I'm going to have a flute in it too, because the flute can potentially give us some luck. Maybe block. It also helps with our stamina. And yeah, we're going to be trying to get more heat so our ice armor can just inflict that cold. Helping us win out, just giving us that little bit more block. And we'll use up our heat, but I think I'm happy enough with this ice armor. It's been carrying us for quite some time, that's for sure, and amazing. Definitely so. Okay, we could try to go for a flame up. We could pivot into flame up type action. No spike generation, so it's going to be a little bit scary to go for that. Maybe just want to grab this and keep our flame up for now. We can also grab the chili pepper to make sure our ice armor just scales up or has that heat, but I'm going to be taking an extra one of these anyway. I don't think I'm going to go for flame up. I don't know if I even want a chili pepper. I think we're happy enough just moving on with this. I'm going to not lock the shop at all. We're just going to let our bag of giving give us some items and then see what we can go from here. Right now, we should be in a pretty good spot to be able to win out. Now, our opponent is going to be going for crossblades. I'm glad they don't have the Falcon Blade, because the Falcon Blade will be doing quite a bit of damage since it attacks twice. But hell yeah, not too bad once again. Now, take me back to last rounds where we could have went for Bloodthorn, which would have been amazing. We also got ourselves a strong Peasant's Flask, which I do kind of want to sell. And I'm also thinking very, very strongly about taking this fanny pack, speeding up our magic staff just a little bit more. And should we roll? Should we grab a mana pop? Probably not. Another set of blueberries I will be gladly taking. And you know what? I will be crafting up another burning coal. We've got quite an insane amount of burning coals. It gives a lot of heat, making sure that our ice armor can just keep stacking up that coal. So it should be relatively awesome. Definitely so. Our opponent is rocking double Hunger Blades. If these are strong health pots, we could be in trouble because this heavy drinking is going to put in a lot of work. That's for sure. They're going to get tons and tons of Vampirism. But a magic staff should have way more scaling damage right now by having it 2 sets of blueberries. Definitely so. It should be able to deal some big old damage. They're going to be cleansing every bit of poison. But that's 13 Vampirism. That's a lot of Vampirism. But can we win out? Not enough. Just barely not enough. We do end up losing out in our life. But we get our own strong health pot. We also got Sursand too, and I have no interest in Sursand. And the question is, do we want to go for the skill, or do we want to go Ukulele? We do have Flute already, which is why I've been wanting to keep it, and I wanted to go for Jinx Staff also. So I'm going to sell you. I'm also going to sell this red ruby, this ruby too, and this little gemstone, and I will be taking Ukulele. Let's take this Ukulele, that's a mana orb. I'm going to be taking. And that's also another flute. We're also going to be selling this. Should we take another flutes? Honestly, stacking up a bunch of luck doesn't matter too much to us, but the more we trigger flutes, the more we trigger an extra item around too. I'm not going to take the flute, I'm going to be venturing on once again, and we're going to have a high chance to duplicate some of the buffs that we do stack up. So, mana generation on our magic staff should be much easier. We should be able to get our heat that a little bit easier too. And it should be relatively awesome. Maybe stack up some empower with our staff as well. But can we keep up with a Bloodthorn? They're going to be getting lots of Vampirism again. We should be able to deal some big old damage. But is it going to be enough to win out? Because it's looking super close. But hell yeah, it is. Not too bad. Definitely not too bad. Now, speaking of not too bad, that is a Box of Prosperity. It's also an island for some scaling damage. We're going to be selling you. And I kind of want to keep our topaz. But I also really want to grab ourselves an island for more scaling damage. Box of Prosperity I do want to add in also. Now we got our Ukulele inside our Box of Prosperity along with our stone too, so that should be relatively awesome. We have our flute in here too. And yeah, we're going to be rocking on once again. So at least if our flute does give us a little bit of block, we should be able to get that 20% damage reduction. Every time we use up some heat, we get 10 block, which is going to be that damage reduction too. Our opponent does have a lot of damage with a magic torch, anvil, and lots of damage reduction. And we do end up falling short once again. Not ideal either. Now that is the Scripture of Light with a strong Peasant's Flask, which I'm going to be selling. The bag tackler is not going to be too great for us right now because we got a lot of leather bags. We got one stamina sack, but then it doesn't work with the puzzle bag improvement. Now, do we want to go enchanted weapons? Probably not. Do we want to go Power of the Moon? Also not the best. I think I'm going to do a big old gamble. That's pretty darn good though. Definitely going to be pretty darn good. I'm going to sell our Scripture of Light. And I'm going to roll. Now you are going to be free monies. How do we not take you? But hey, I'm going to continue rolling. Don't necessarily want any of these items. Let's roll again. We could have went for more coals, but let's see what we can do with this. Now, at least with our egg and Battlecry, we should be able to trigger Sapphire Egg, give us more mana. I mean, our magic staff can scale up from the get-go. And we should be able to get a ton of block with our ice armor. Give us way more survivability, give us our damage reduction again. And yes, not looking too bad. Even our opponent has a lot of poison on us, amazing. Definitely so. And we could go for Staff on Healing, which is definitely not what we want. Although Artifacts don't die is some crits if we do want that. Another Box of Prosperity. I'm not sure how we're going to fit this one in though. Maybe sell one of these, which I'm down for. Do you want to look for Bird? Because the Bird is one we're going to craft over Magic Staff. If you want to keep our Bag of Giving in, we could try to look for a different type staff. Unfortunately, the Staff on Healing is one I do not want. Crit with Staff will be amazing. But I'm just going to roll. Box of Riches I don't necessarily want. No, I actually do want to grab another freaking flute though. Another flute could be kind of nice, so let's sell you. Let's roll again. Let's go Dark Frenzy, I'm not sure if I do want though. Now we could go for a Serpent Staff. If you want to inflict a bunch of poison, maybe you do want to go for it. I think I'm going to sell you. Do we sell our boots? I do like our boots quite a bit though. But we sell our boots, we can craft up this immediately. Yeah, I think we gotta sell our boots. We sell our boots, we craft up this Serpent Staff. It is what it is. We're going to be crafting up this Burning Coal. Inflict a little bit extra poison, and let's get going once again. And we are facing a Stone Golem. With a bunch of pets, we're going to have 54% crit chance. Are they going to be able to activate our Stone Golem? You don't have the regen for it, but they're going to have that chance to stun us. And with Time Melting, they're going to have that stun for a lot longer. Can we win out? They don't have as much mana generation. Hell yeah, we can. Definitely amazing. Now we're also going to be hatching up this Dragon Egg, which means you are going to be using our mana, even though you do give us quite a bit of mana, but you also give us a bunch of blocks, so I'm happy enough with that. And you're going to be some crits. It can also potentially be some blinds. We can also speed up our Serpent Staff with this too. We can also keep our stamina up, maybe under stamina. But I think we're happy enough rolling on with this. We should be able to get a ton of block. Especially with our Echo Battlecry, we should be able to get a ton of mana, and with our Serpent Staff, we should be able to inflict a lot of poison, except our opponent is going to be cleansing a lot of it with these Sun Armors, which could be troublesome. Now, we got a lot of heat though, speeding up our whole situation. We got infinite luck, which means infinite accuracy. And yeah, it's not looking too bad. Definitely not. Now, speaking of amazing, that is crits. That is crits, that's also Diamond of Fortune, also Burning Torch, which I'm going to be getting rid of. And a few seconds later, we could have had a Cupcake Staff, which I would have also really enjoyed. Now, we should be able to scale up our crits really fast with this. Should be genuinely awesome. I'm going to sell these 3 gemstones to go ahead and grab this too. And what's it going to be? Amped of Energy is even better for us, to be honest. That should be crazy insane. Yeah, let's get going. That should be crazy insane. We should be able to generate up a lot of mana. We should be able to scale up our crits really freaking fast. Especially with a little shard bow stacking up our luck. Definitely so. Our opponent did cleanse whatever poison we did inflict on him because of its Divine Pot. And that was looking way too close for comforts. Definitely so. Now that is a puzzle bag of energy. We could refund a lot with this. We could also just take our fancy rapier if we want it. But I'm definitely going to have our Serpent Staff in our puzzle bag of energy. We're also going to give the Hawk Rune to it now, so it should be really more awesome. We're going to sell you 2 and our chessboard and some red rubies to go ahead and grab our bit of storage. And we're fully built on storage, which is kind of amazing already. We get lots of heats. Garlic we're not as interested in. We could actually grab ourselves a chili pepper to stack up even more heat, which would be kind of insane too. I'm going to sell the garlic. I'm going to sell you. Let's sell this to and you. Let's go ahead and add in this chili pepper. Now let's get going once again. Do we want the fanfare actually? Fanfare for our ukulele. That could also be pretty darn good. I don't think I'm going to take it just yet though. It's a little bit too expensive for us. Not going to lie. But can we face Excalibur? They're going to be going for infinite mana stacking, infinite spike stacking actually. But we'll see, can we deal with them? They got quite a bit of heat, we got a lot of poison stacked up, which is going to be relatively awesome. And so far, definitely looking smashing. Now in terms of DPS, how much do we actually have? We have 420 block, which is actually not bad. Ice Armor, Stone, putting in some work for us, Flawless Sapphire too. In terms of DPS, we do have a 78 DPS being our Serpent Staff, our Poison, Fortuna's Hope, and our Sapphire Whelp. I'm going to be continuing on. Definitely going to be continuing on for sure. Now it does give us a big old Chili Goobers. There's also our bird, which I do want to grab 2 though. Let's sell our Chili Goobers. Box Prosperity, I'm not sure if we're going to be able to actually add in, so I'm going to be selling that. Strike Mana Pot's going to be really nice too. And we're definitely going to be taking our bird. We're going to be taking our bird. And we're going to be placing it here, mostly targeting our Serpent Staff. And our flutes as much as possible. I'm not sure if we do want our Shell Totem though, because the Shell Totem will stack up some power, but it's going to eat up a lot more stamina for us. Box Riches on sale is kind of nice, but I'm going to ignore it. Another Fanny Pack on sale. I will actually be taking. Let's take an extra flame, let's roll again. And we could grab this to place into our armor. which I'm going to be selling this, and I'm going to sell another flame, and I will be doing it actually. Just because you inflict a lot of poison, it should be relatively awesome. Also, this is in a horrible position. We could place it down here to increase our chances to stack up our luck, as well as inflict that poison potentially duplicate now. We are facing a Cheese Excalibur, Deer Guardian. This could be interesting. They're going to be stacking up a lot of mana. They're going to be getting lots of max life, but can we keep up with them? Because we are going to be inflicting a lot of poison. That's for sure. We also inflict a decent bit of cold too. Not a whole lot though. But they do got their max life. We have 140 poison. We are running stamina like crazy, but we do end up falling short. And that's 3 boxes of prosperities. That is crazy. I'm going to be getting rid of this. I think it's time we do hightail that item out here. Box of prosperity is kind of nice. We do kind of need our Fortune's Hope to stack up our luck. I'm going to roll. Now, Death's Eye, I do kind of want to grab 2 though. So it does mean we're probably going to have to get rid of a Fortune's Hope. And our Box of Riches like crazy too. Let's go ahead and grab this then. And I'm going to roll again. Now that's another bird. Do we want to grab another bird? Maybe not. Now we got to remember that once we do trigger a musical item, we're going to be triggering a different item too. Well, it's going to advance the cooldown, which is going to be our Ice Armor, our Dragon, our Echo Battlecry, our Dead Sight, our Blueberries, our Serpent Staff. All kind of nice. This mana orb is really badly placed too. It really wants to sit in here to get as much mana, but then we will lose out on our crits on our Sapphire Bulb. We could also place it here, which I think that's going to be a little bit better, but then our freaking Toad is going to be the worst spot, but I think it's going to have to do it like this. Genuinely so. We probably need you in here then too. And I think that's probably going to be our best setup. Maybe. Let's take our extra flame, let's roll again. And now let's get going. But at least with our Dead Side, we should be able to inflict that poison a little bit more. At least double it. Our opponent is dealing a lot of damage with Burning Blade Dragons, and yeah, we're instantly deleted, murder-faced. We're down to 1 life, and it looks like we should have took our points and ran. Definitely so. There's also Blue Sage's Collar, which I do want to add in because that's just going to be mana stacking for us for days. We also got ourselves a second Corrupted Crystal, but it does mean I do want to add this in to get more block. Is this going to be more block than this? I think this might be a little bit better for us. Now the helmet I do want to grab too. We're going to sell you, we're going to sell this flame too, and you too. This will be nice for poison stacking, but I'm going to sell it and let's sell you. And I instantly want to grab this and place you in here then. Get rid of this gemstone. And I think this should be genuinely awesome, potentially, hopefully, we'll see. And the question is, do we want to craft up a Cap Discomforts, or do we want to keep these Corrupted Crystals in and just have ourselves a Cap of Resilience? Because the Cap Discomfort is going to give us that little bit of damage reduction for a little bit longer. I think we're going to craft it up. We're probably going to craft it up. We are facing Hammer Daggerangs. They got that Stone Shoes, so our Sapphire Whelp's not going to do a whole lot for us. But it's just going to use up our mana. Now, can we inflict our poison? Because our opponent has 2 Divine Pots to cleanse every bit of poison we do inflict on him. They're going to be stealing our buffs like crazy, stealing all our heat, stealing our mana. That's 58 poison. We've managed to get our poison through. And we just need our Serpent Staff to deal some big old damage. 96 poison. They're not going to be able to cleanse this right now. They have 900 max life though. And this poison is going to be chipping them down quite a bit too. And you know what? Hell yeah, 245 poison by the end of it. Amazing. Now it gives us second Ice Armor, which is also kind of amazing. We'll be using up a lot more heats, but it would be nice to stack up some coals. Good word, we're going to be selling. We're going to roll. You want to grab the Cupcake, you want to grab ourselves gloves. Cupcake could stack up our heat that a little bit faster too, but I'm not going to take it. We'll take this little bit of storage. Let's keep rolling. But the bird is really nicely placed where it is. We could get rid of our Bagstones to place in this too. We'll be using up a lot more heat though. But we also refund quite a bit with our Amas of Energy. We'll be inflicting a lot more cold onto our opponents. And what the hell am I doing? We should have placed this a long time ago in this spot. Definitely so with our caps. We also would like to have our armor beside it too. That would be amazing also. And yeah, this is insanely better. We should be able to get insane amounts of block. We should be able to get damage reduction for such a long time. We're going to continue to roll though. And something like an ice block on our ice armors could be kind of insane because it would inflict that cold just a little bit more. But Ice Flower would have been helpful too, but it is what it is. We're going to sell our bag stones, we're going to roll again. And you know what, let's sell our stones. Let's sell our stones, let's sell this, let's go and grab a treasure. Another puzzle bag of energy. We can actually place at least one armor in it as well, so that will refund a little bit more heat also, which is kind of nice. The only thing is, our setup right now, our dead size going to be here, but we don't get the crits on it. I think that's going to be okay though. We sell this roll again. And we sell our chessboard. We sell this little green gemstone to keep rolling. I'm going to sell you, and I'm going to go ahead and just grab ourselves a set of blueberries. And with that, we should be able to get some more healing reduction, which should be amazing. And yeah, this is going to be a fun setup. Now, is it going to be good enough to win out? We'll have to see. And yeah, I didn't expect to be playing this sort of run with a Serpent Staff adventure type build. So let's go and see if this is going to be good enough to win out. We are facing a freaking Katana. I was forgetting the name of it. Hard to hit flat. They're going to be moving a lot of rebuffs. A lot of rebuffs, a lot of scaling damage, so our Serpent Staff is going to have a tougher time inflicting that poison. But we'll see. We should be able to inflict a lot of colds with our armors. And yeah, shouldn't be too bad. We got lots of heat to keep everything going pretty fast. We got our bird and our flute to trigger even more awesomeness. We have our luck scaled up. We're going to have guaranteed crits. And we're going to have infinite mana, so our Serpent Staff can just keep scaling up that damage. Definitely so. Loads of damage reduction. Loads of poison, and hell yeah. Now, it wasn't the highest poison stacking I've ever seen, but again, the Katana to remove a lot of scaling damage for sure. But hey, we did manage to win out. 96 poison by the end of it. How much DPS did we manage to get by the end of it? 50 DPS, not too crazy. In terms of heals though, not a whole lot of heals. In terms of max life gain, 32. But in terms of block, 600 block. And again, we had damage reduction for days with our Echo and Battlecry, with our helmet, with our stone too, because we had block nearly at all times. Dropping our opponent's DPS down to about 40 DPS by the end of it. So definitely not a bad build. We did survive 1 life left. Let's go and see just how much rank points we managed to get. +7, ranking us up a decent bit of Masters. But hey, I'm going to leave you here for now. I just want to say thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like, comment, or even subscribe in it. And I hope to keep a look for the next one. I'll see you next time. Okay, we're jumping back into some rounds in round 18, and we're going to see what we can do against some other builds. We are facing a Bloodthorn with a King's Crown. They're going to get lots of healing, but we do decrease their healing by quite a bit. And we should be able to get quite a bit of poison stacked up. Now this is going to be going for quite some time. We've got 155 block, 200 poison I mean. And yeah, 250 poison within 15 seconds is not bad whatsoever. Now can we deal with a Chili Goobert's Paradise Burb Burning Blade type situation? They're going to be trying to lamp their whole situation, trying to get more damage from it. They're going to be going for infinite heat stacking. We're going to be trying to slow them down with 20 colds, 50 poison. Now they do got that invulnerability stopping us from hitting them so we don't stack up our poison. But hell yeah. Now can we deal with double frostbite, magic torch, nocturnal locklifter? They're going to have crazy amounts of healing. Full body protection means our sapphire whelp is not going to do any damage, but neither is our Serpent Staff. It's going to be quite some skilling that has to going to be getting through to get all that poison stacked up. However, we're getting our poison through. We're dealing insane damage and amazing. 240 poison, hell yeah.